Here we are with GE 103, AutoCAD 3D modeling, 3D fundamentals, creation and editing of 3D objects. Let's use our title block that we created here just a few weeks ago, and it'll be a great basis for us to work in and print in. I'm going to go inside into model space. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of some things we need to do. First of all is we need to set up our 3D modeling toolbar, ribbon bar up here. So we are going to go down here to the workspace switching, and I'm going to click on that. And I get a choice of annotated drafting, which we have here, 3D basics and 3D modeling. I'm going to go to the 3D modeling tab. Click on that. And I am going to keep my command line for you so you can keep track of the commands that we're going to do. Here is my toolbar. If you look at it, I'm going to park it right up here. And if I hover over it, it should say Doug's 3D toolbar. We had that in a previous video. I'm going to create some toolbars. Since I have a toolbar here, I can either use that or I can go here to my toolbar command. So hyphen toolbar, enter, and then I'm going to go layers, enter, S for show. And there is the layers toolbar. So I'm going to take that and park this right up here. There we go. And I'll put mine somewhere on either side of it here. And once we have a toolbar, we can go in there and right click, and then we have access to all the toolbars. The one that I use the most is UCS2. And I want to park that over here. Right there. And so I use that in conjunction with my 3D toolbar here and my view cube, which I don't have. If you don't have a view cube, so type in nav cube. It's two V's. Nav cube. And type and go O on for on. There's your view cube right there. And here we have our little 3D toolbar there. So I'm going to actually move my little toolbar, and we're going to be building my toolbars as we go along. I want you to see how I do that. But this right here, this UCS2, is the same thing as this little window here in coordinates. It's the same thing. But I like it right here because it's right next to my view cube, so I can jump in and out. If I change something, if I go into my home view and I realize I want front, I can just go right up above and go to front. Okay, and you notice how the front turned to the top. Now I can also go back to world, and right here is left, and if I go into left, you'll notice that that's going to turn to top. So this is how we control our cursor, which you see right here. Okay, if I go to world, notice that the red and green cursor lines are our X and Y planes, and the blue, which is perpendicular, is a Z plane. Now watch what happens when I go to left. You can see where my green and red are, and now the Z is coming out this way. Okay, if I go into front, the X and Y are this way, and the Z is this way. This is how we control the direction of the things that we're going to create in AutoCAD 3D. Want to make sure that your dynamic input is off. I really don't use dynamic input very much here. I really depend on my command line. And I probably need to learn more about the dynamic input, but this is how I know how to do it, and I'm going to show you, and you can experiment with both. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is we go up here to our modeling tab in our ribbon up here at the home ribbon, and we see that we have a box here. Well, this is a geometric shape, and we can create a 3D solid box. Okay, so if I pick on that and I come down here to the center of my screen and I pick a point, okay, right now I am in front, so you can see that the plane, the X and the Y plane, are in this format that you see here. Okay, now if I change this to world, you're going to see the same thing but in a different format. Look, okay? So to start with, we're going to just stay in world because it's much easier. So I'm going to go up here, pick my box. I'm going to pick a point, and I'm going to look at my command line right over here. And what does it say? Cube or length? Okay, well, I'm going to type in L for length, and then I just put in the things that I want. Now you want to make sure it's in ortho. So if this line is moving, if I hit my F8 key, you can see this line moves. I want to be in ortho. Okay. So I'm going to type in 6 by 8 by 6. There we go. So we created a cube here, and you can see it in wireframe. And if we go to DI, which is distance, DI, enter, and I pick a point here, and I pick a point there, you can see that that is 6 inches. Our distance is right here, 6. Okay, hit enter, and then I should be able to go and get another distance. That one's 8. Enter, and that one is 6 also. Okay, so that is how we draw. Now the other thing that we have here in the view up here, we have how we're going to view this object down here, in what format. And the formats are 2D wireframe, 3D hidden, 3D wireframe, conceptual, hidden, realistic, shaded, shaded with edges, shades of gray, sketchy, wireframe, and X-ray. The most common are 2D wireframe and 3D hidden. Okay, you can see what happened when I went to 3D hidden. The lines that were in the back disappeared. If I go to realistic, I get this just colored cube. If I go to shaded, you can see that it's starting to change a little bit. One of these are going to work for you the best. I hardly ever use X-ray or wireframe or sketchy, but they're kind of fun. Sketchy is really fun because it looks like you sketched it. But I'm going to use shades of gray. I like shades of gray. I get the most definition for my eyes when I look at this on the screen. Okay, so I want to draw on the different sides of this cube. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to my box again, but this time I'm going to click on the down arrow and look what we have here. We have cylinder, cone, sphere, pyramid, wedge, and torus. Well, I'm going to pick cylinder for right now, and I'm going to come over here, and I can draw anywhere on this plane and notice it went from world to unnamed. Okay, I can go back and click on world, but when it's unnamed, it has to do with picking the side. Notice it changed. Watch the blue cursor. Watch the blue cursor. Notice how it changes. It comes at whatever side I happen to be. So it's going up. It's coming at me to the front. It's coming at me to the right. Okay. So this is a really powerful thing about AutoCAD that you can use. Okay, so I'm going to go cylinder. And I'm going to use a command that I really, really like, which is shift right click mid between 2 points. I'm going to pick a corner, and there you can see that. And I'm going to pick 2, and I'm going to pick 6. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter. And we should be back in the same command. And I'm going to go shift, right click, mid between 2 points. Okay. Oop. Now notice what happened. What happened? I'm in the same plane. So this is not going to work. Okay. So let's see if we can get it to move to this plane like it should. There it did. And now if I pick, it's going to come out. Okay. So cylinder. And pick that plane, then shift right click mid between 2 points. So you have to pick that face first, and 2 and 6. Okay. Go up to cylinder, pick the face. Notice how the face highlights, turns blue. That means it's, and you can see that my blue cursor is coming out this way. Now notice when I leave the block, the cursor jumps and goes back to world where it's standing up. But as long as you're attached to the front of that, it will stay there. So I go shift, mid between 2 points, pick and pick, 2 and 6. Oops, that's 9. 6, 6. Come on, where's 6? 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. There we go. Okay, great. Now, if I want to do something over on this side, I need to rotate it. So I'm going to go up here to my view cube, and I'm going to flip that around there like that. And I could flip it around one more time, too. There we go. And if I really wanted to be fun, I could just flip it right up like that, and I could work on these 3 sides all at once. So if I go back to home, here's something else I can do. I can just reach to the back here, and right there in that lower corner, and there you are, and one more turn, and I'm there. So I can do that in 2 turns. Notice it changed color too. Things change color when you're looking up from the bottom. Okay, I'm going to go to my cylinder again, and I'm going to come find the face. It turns color for me. I'm going to go shift right click, mid between 2 points. I'm going to go from there to there, and I'm going to go, oops. Okay, pick the face, shift between 2 points. Now see, I don't want to lose that color there. You have to be careful how you access this and whether you leave that face. 2 and 6. Okay. Cylinder. Pick this. Shift in between 2 points. 2 and 6. And shift between 2 points. 2 and 6. There we go. And if I go back to my home, you can see this will jump right into, and then we can also go down here. This is orbit. This is orbit. Pick orbit, and you can just move all kinds of good stuff around. You can see the change in the planes here. Okay. Now let's go to shades of gray. Let's go to wireframe and see what it looks like. We don't have any of that then. We don't have those planes showing up. But you can see it's much harder to keep track of things in wireframe. Okay. How about if we go to hidden, 3D hidden? Oh, that's a little easier. Okay. And we go to our orbit here and just pick a point. And there we go. Look at the interesting thing there in the center. That's the center of our object, the center mass of our object, that little green dot that you see in there. Dead center in the middle of our object. Okay. Okay, I want to manipulate these. So we've now have this. Now, these are all individual pieces, okay? So I can just go M for move, pick a point, and pull this away, okay? And I could pull it 6, and it's 6 inches away. Okay, I could take this and 6 inches away. Okay, so we have that ability. I'm going to undo both of these. There we go. I'm going to grab, and so this is all about how we create the objects up here using the solid blocks, okay? Okay, so I want to manipulate these a little bit, but the first thing I want to do is I want to create this as a solid object. So instead of all these individual entities that you see here, I'm going to create a solid object. And to do that, I'm going to go up here to solid editing, go out to the left side, and you see solid union. Select solid union. I'm going to grab everything on the page, and let's zoom around here, make sure it picked it. It picked everything. I'm going to hit enter, and now when I pick it, you can see that everything highlights because it has become a solid object. Okay. Go back to home. One of the things about home, I want you to see up here, if you right click on home, we are in perspective right now, and everything looks a little flared. I'm a big fan of parallel. Doesn't matter if it works for you, that's great. Now if you want it to stay parallel and not go back and forth into perspective, right click again on the house and go to set view as home. And now it will stay as parallel drawing throughout the rest of your work, unless you want to go back and right click and change it to perspective. Okay, let's do a little manipulation of these faces. Let's go up here to solid editing again. We just got finished using union, solid union, to make piece, a single piece. Now I want to edit some of these little spindles that you see here. So I'm going to go over here to extrude face, and that's not what I want to do. I'm going to click, and I'm going to go to move face. Okay, I'm going to come in here and get close to the face that I want to move and pick on it. Notice that it highlighted it. Hit enter, pick any point on the screen, pull, and go 1, and it just moved 1. Okay. Now I can't hit enter and go back into the same command. Okay, so I got to go back up here and go back to my move face. Come in close, pause for a second because it has to, AutoCAD has to read the geometry. Enter, pick a point, and let's go in 2. Okay. And then I'm going to go back up here and move face, and I'm going to pick a piece of geometry. Enter, pick it, and 6. Okay. And move face, pick a point. Again, I can come anywhere. I'm just giving it a direction is all I'm doing. Give it a distance. Okay. And if you want to, you can actually move face, pick that face, hit enter, pick, and then just pick again and not have a distance. So you don't have to put in dimensions. You can just move it around. If you're just sort of modeling and just playing around, you can do that. Let's see what happens when we move this face. Oh, we can't move that face. And I don't think we can move that this face here, this square one. Okay. Let's try this though. Let's pick this and this. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay. So that's how you move some of that stuff around. And what other things do we have? Oh, we have taper face. Okay. And base point. So we'll do that. I'm going to come back here to a midpoint and okay, I'm going to go back up here to my cylinder, pick a box. This time I'm going to pick a point and I'm going to go C for cube. I'm going to go 11. So I have an 11 by 11 cube now. Move it over here a little bit so we can get it out of our way. And here's where we'll go into our taper face. Okay, I'm going to show you how to taper this face here. Pick taper face. Pick a face. Now, hit enter. What does it say? It says specify base point. So I'm going to make this my base point. Specify another point along the same axis. So I'll pick this because it's on the same axis. And then it says an angle, and I'm going to go 30. There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can do this way. I'm not sure we can, but we'll try. Okay, we'll go to taper face. Down here and zoom in a little bit and pick that face. Enter, pick a base point. Pick a point along the same axis and type in 30. Oh yeah, so we can do that all day long. We can taper all the faces we want. And if we play with the offset face command, pick a face, enter, give it a distance, 3. Offset face, pick a face, enter, give it a distance, 3. Offset face, 1. You see we have lots of control over this. Okay. So that should be enough for the first little set of modeling, and we're going to go do a little bit on our house, and I'm going to use some of these basic things that you see here.